Hello there! Welcome to Tuskeh Talks, my take on the week in WoW, Wildstar, and in general. My name is Tuskeh, and on this pilot I'm going to get a little bit miffed, a little bit worried, and then I'm going to spend all my money. So we'll start with WoW stuff. So recently, the Warforged Nightmare has released for $30 on the Blizzard store. If you buy it, you get the Warforged Nightmare, which can be either a ground mount or a flying mount, and you get a sort of hitching post that allows you to give the mount to your friends temporarily as well, which is kind of cool, I suppose. But generally, I'm not really very happy about this. The only content that WoW is receiving at the moment is in the form of temporary buffs like Gaze of the Black Prince or Heart of the Valorous, which I'm still angry about, and shop-only mounts like the Warforged Nightmare, Enchanted Fey Dragon, and the Iron Sky Reaver. This is bad. I'm not happy with this at all. These kinds of things, I at least feel, should be made into content. A quest chain, or an achievement in a raid, or a dungeon, or a reward for a current challenge. Perhaps you could get one of the mounts or the pets for doing exploration achievements, or doing every dungeon in the game, or for doing scenarios, other dungeons or custom quests. I mean, more lore, story, and things to do is essential in the long time between now and Warlords. And just putting the Warforged Nightmare on the shop is just horribly greedy. It's so easy to say that. It's just greedy, and I understand that the team is working on Warlords of Draenor, and any time they spend on the game live is time they don't spend making the expansion, which pushes it back, which just kind of defeats the whole purpose. But the live game needs love. For instance, this is the idea I had while I was working on the little brainstorm for this. It would be great if, for instance, the Armoured Bloodwing mount was added to a vendor in Razor Hill or Orgrimmar, and the Alliance could have a version as well if they wanted. And maybe you could earn a sort of currency to buy it. Maybe you have to kill 50 Siege of Orgrimmar bosses. Like, on any difficulty, you just have to kill 50 of them. That would take several weeks, but it would give you something to work towards and come along every week to play and do your lockouts. And then, after you do that, you hand in the currency and you get the Armoured Bloodwing for free. Something like that would encourage players to play the game rather than just give us your money. Integrating the actual mounts and pets into the world and giving them a place in it would be so much better than just shop money now. Speaking of money, $25 to $30 for a mount is insane. That's the price of some cheaper games. And I'll get onto that in just a moment. But Blizzard knows they can get away with it. They just know. And it's greedy and terrible, and it really, really pisses me off. I'm very miffed about this, and I have been ever since I saw it. They have all this stuff where it's like, oh yes, own the Warforged Nightmare. They've released kind of a trailer, I'll put it in the background now, where they've released this kind of like, ah, yes, own the Warforged Nightmare. It is forged in the heart of war and steel, and it is the ultimate mount for going to war with your battle party and all that. It's like, okay, that's cool, right? But give us more than just a bloody trailer, a very well choreographed trailer, I'll say, but put it in the game somehow, you know? I'd love to see something, just something, that just updates the world just a tiny little bit, because the world feels really static in World of Warcraft. It just needs to be shunted forwards just a tiny, tiny bit. Every time they do something like this, they could just add an NPC, or add an achievement, or edit an achievement. Something like that would be great. But Blizzard knows they can get away with just doing $25 to $30 for a mount, and people will buy it and they'll be happy with it, and nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to be angry about it. It just feels like Blizzard is maybe being a bit disingenuous to its fans. Because when WoW was released, it was all this great new game that was just wonderful, and it just blew up every other MMO. And it was great. And Blizzard sometimes has a habit of being really open and optimistic and great to be around. I mean, every time I watch BlizzCon, I get suckered in, and I'm like, oh, this company's really great. They make some really great games. And I'm not arguing that. I mean, I love WoW, and I really like Blizzard, and I love the team behind it. But it's just like, okay, you do all that, and then you have the artists go through all the work of making the Warforged Nightmare, you animate it, you add the special animations, the particle effects, you put it into the game, and all of that just for a little bit of money? I don't like that. I mean, even if it cost money, but then maybe it unlocked by paying money. Maybe by paying money, it would unlock a quest that allowed you to do it. Just a tiny little one. Just something. Rather than just plonk, here it is. Because they've done that before, and it sucks.
And summon a Warforged Nightmare for every member of your war party bold enough to handle the reins. The next time you rally your comrades to mount up and earn their keep, charge into battle on steeds crafted from hardened steel and vengeful spirits. World of Warcraft Warforged Nightmare.
So, moving on to Wildstar stuff. So the first content patch for Wildstar has been announced already. It's about the strain, which is a sort of biological anomaly that has the ability to spread around, and is going to probably take over Nexus unless we stop it. You know, the whole kind of Zerg thing. It's going to feature 2 new zones. It's going to be mostly endgame focused, and it will allow for soloing, but also encourage players to group. And future content updates will have stuff for both solo and groups, according to Carbine. I don't really want to delve into the details about the patch now, because I hate spoiling anything about video games. I made a whole video about why you should avoid the beta for Warlords of Draenor, and yes, that does include the alpha. I want to talk more about what this kind of means, because, first of all, it's great that Carbine has plans for the future. That's brilliant, and any MMO that is released in this day and age needs to have a plan for the future, because MMO players go through content obscenely fast. I mean, a lot of players are already level 50, and it won't be long before they run out of new things to do. It's what happens in every single MMO. And my worry is that this content patch system, where they put in new stuff constantly, is maybe a way to cover up a weak endgame. I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but Guild Wars 2's endgame was not as developed as I think it could have been. I mean, I played a lot of Guild Wars 2. I went through the entire leveling experience, got to the level cap, and then it just kind of ran out of things for me to do. The kind of gear progression and the way you did content was very strange, and it lost me, unfortunately, at that point. But I really hope that Carbine and Wildstar don't go the same way. I mean, the endgame needs to be varied for solo and group content, it needs to be fun, and there needs to be incentive to do it. I mean, with World of Warcraft, yes, I am going to compare them, because it only makes sense. You have your dailies, you have timeless style stuff with Valor, you actually have a reason to do it. And hopefully Wildstar does the same thing. I can't judge the endgame of Wildstar, because I'm not there yet, and I'm not going to read someone else's view on it and take it as my own, because I haven't seen it, hence I don't want to have an opinion on it yet. But Carbine has shown that they seem to know what they're doing. I mean, before the game was released, I followed the game fairly closely. I mean, I was watching live streams from Carbine, I watched all their different news shows and things like that, and they seem to know what they're doing. They seem like very smart people, and I really hope that they do this smartly, because one of my major worries is that the speed at which Carbine is releasing content is great. It's encouraging, but it's also worrying. Because if they slow down, or worse, stop this level of quick content patching, then the game's pace could just grind to a halt, and that would be terrible. And what could be even worse is if the developers just get burnt out on Wildstar and they run out of steam. I mean, passion projects, and this does definitely seem like a passion project, they put a lot of passion into it, and even if it's one great big marketing stunt, then it's a very passionate marketing stunt. And if all this passion just runs out and they run out of steam for Wildstar, then things can go downhill really fast. I really hope that it doesn't, because Wildstar has a real sense that it's kind of a Saturday morning cartoon, they called it. It's just like a fun romp through an alien world, learning things, going to all these facilities and fighting your enemies and fighting giant creatures and all that stuff. And it's fun. Wildstar is a barrel of fun. I am thoroughly enjoying it. But it needs to retain that wonderful sense of humour for as long as it can. Otherwise, things are going to go downhill. And I really hope that they don't release content too fast. Because if they're trying to please people who just get bored with MMOs as soon as they run out of things to do, then they're not going to succeed. Because players will always go through content faster than anyone can ever make it. It just happens. People got to level 50 before the game was released. I saw people on my realm, I saw the realm first achievements for level 50 during the 3-day head start. That's how fast people leveled to 50 in this brand new MMO. That's just insane to me, and I don't understand that at all. They've just completely wasted the experience, in my opinion. And hey, if they enjoy it, more credit to them. But I like taking my time, and I don't take my time as much as some people, but I don't do that for certain. My point is that because players go through content so fast, either you can go with the World of Warcraft approach, which is just not to update the game at all, which I don't agree with, until an expansion comes along. It's just, I don't think that's a great idea. There needs to be some love. You can go the Guild Wars 2 route of just releasing content as fast as you can without really having a strong endgame to base that on, and having that extra content be the only real thing that players can really do, other than a few things. Or you could go for somewhere in the middle, which is what Wildstar seems to be going for, and hopefully it works, because hopefully it has a great endgame while also having new content on the horizon at all times. There needs to be something for people to look forward to at all times, and that isn't 6 months away. Now, on to general gaming news. This one is going to be simple because I'm probably going to spend all my money, because Steam has now started its summer sales. Some of the games are available for insanely low prices. I'm pretty sure I saw The Witcher 2 available for $4. So make sure you check out Steam as much as you can, because there are going to be some very, very heavy discounts there. See if any games catch your eye and grab them if you think it's worth it. Use your own common sense for it. You can get some great deals over the summer, but don't get suckered in. Steam has included a few community systems where you can earn free games, have a chance to win other games, and even vote on games each day to receive a discount on them. Make sure you check the front page of Steam for details every day, and visit Total Biscuit's channel, because he does a great show called The Sale Box, where he talks about some of the more major games that have been put on sale and what he thinks, and whether or not he thinks they're worth it. He goes over US, UK, all kinds of different currencies, so it should have something for everyone. I will include a link to his first sale box in the description. So that's it for the pilot of Tuskeh Talks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I did record this one live, just in case you didn't notice. I'm considering making it scripted, but I think that it's a little bit more natural if I just do it all in one big long take without a script, and hopefully I'll get better at talking as time goes along. Let me know what you think in the comments. As normal, you can contact me with the links in the description. You can leave a comment, like, dislike the video, and make sure you subscribe to catch these videos as soon as they come out. I'm hoping to make this a weekly show, so I'd really like to know what you think. Thanks very much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck with your gaming endeavours.